Thank you for joining me again for worship at St. Swithin's in Sandy. Today is Remembrance Sunday. I was thinking about this and wondering what it is that we are remembering, and you will have your own memories and thoughts today. Not just memories of the armistice of 1918. November the 11th is the day that we celebrate this as a reminder of some tragedies and terrible things that have happened in our world. But also it's a remembering that we are called to better and called to more, called to peace. We give thanks for the courage of young men and women, courage of civilians, but we are called to have courage today and have hope for tomorrow. There is a collective and a cultural memory of the wars of the past, and it's good to keep those things alive, to remember the horrors and to say this will not happen again while we can help it. But there is personal memories for today as well, memories of those who have died and who we have loved, some through war, but some through sickness and some through ill health and some from old age. And so we're here today to remember and to give thanks for. We might call Remembrance Sunday Reminder Sunday, as it reminds us of the visions and values that we have and hold on to, the love that we share with others. Yes, we remember the First and the Second World War, and in our little chapel on the sides of our church, we have these plaques that remind us of the losses of those days and the heartache and the brokenness for the families, not just of those two wars, but also since then. Many wars for us here in the UK, in different parts of the world, but also across the world. There are wars that have been fought between tribes and nations. We sometimes read out the names of people who fell in the First World War, but they're symbolic of those who we remember across the wars and across time. Afghanistan, Iraq, the Falklands. There are people who have fallen that we remember sometimes for their courage, such as William Peel. But there are also wars that have been fought by the British Empire that have been tragic and had tragic consequences, sometimes in the past, as we were reminded by Black Lives Matters, of empires that have overtaken places and Africa, Asia, India, and greed that has caused them, those that have made trade out of war. And there are wars today still across the world that are causing huge havoc for so many families who just want to live a simple life. I was speaking to the Archbishop of Burundi some years ago and saying, I wonder if our little church can help in some way to help you in your small country of Africa and one of the poorest in the world. And Archbishop Bernard said to me, Hugh, he said, you could come and help us with our orphanages and hospitals, as you suggest, but really we can do that for ourselves if only we would stop killing each other. Would you come and help us to explain the gospel and the good news of Jesus to people so that they can live at peace with one another? And that's the thing, isn't it? The mission of the church. And so many people here in Sandy have given through legacies, through their service to the ministry of the church. These little plaques here that speak of the kindness of the Gurney family who helped to give the sound system in the 90s, or the lighting for the church with the Blaine family. Indeed, Mary Kemp and her husband Reuben, who gave their lives to the work in the church here as organist and verger. And so we give to one another and share this common worship together. We give thanks for those who have gone before us. Some of you may well have friends and family who are in the Garden of Remembrance here, or in the Book of Remembrance, as we remember today on Remembrance Sunday. We give thanks for those more recently who have passed away, for the flowers today being given in memory of Doug King, and you have your own loved ones that you remember. And we do this every Sunday. as an act of remembrance, a remembrance of Jesus giving his life for us when on that last night with his disciples, he shared the bread and the wine. And he said, do this in remembrance of me. The cross that stands over the pulpit and reminds us of Jesus's sacrifice as we remember to live life to the full, to take his bread and his wine and to come into his presence, to remind ourselves of the grace that we receive and the grace that we will share with others. We say together the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, make us one family. Help us to share our daily bread. Remind us to forgive and to live for what's right. And we need your strength for that, your power, and yours will be the glory. For this is your kingdom where we live together in peace. I think of the beautiful window in that side chapel overseeing the war memorials in the church here. It shows the 4 resurrections of Jesus in the Gospels. We think of Jesus's resurrection, of course, and that's depicted in this window. But also the other resurrections where Jesus raised the widow's son on his way past the village of Nain in Galilee, having mercy on her and pity on her. Jairus coming to him and saying, my daughter's so sick, will you heal her? And he raises her from the dead. And Martha and Mary's brother Lazarus, 3 days in the tomb. And Jesus raises him and reminds us that death is not the end. It does not have the last word. Not in Jesus's life, not in our life, because of Jesus. And so there is hope. And that's the symbol of the poppy, isn't it? That on Flanders fields, the poppies grew, where once there was devastation and mud. So again, new life arises. And into our lives too, new life comes with hope of every battle won. And sometimes battles lost. New hope appears. And so we remember today those who have gone before us, given their lives for our freedom, to use our freedom and to live well. And so we remember today both the past, near and far, and also the hope that we have for the future. The greater love hath no man than this, than he gave his life for his friends, said Jesus.